Okay, today we're going to be learning about food chains. So, what is a food chain? Changes in one population can affect several other populations in the same ecosystem. So, if let's say, just like we were reading in the book the other week, um, that we were talking about how Aldo Leopold, how he decided that he shouldn't be hunting wolves anymore because their population is not as big. And people should be hunting deer instead, right? So changes in one population can affect several other populations. So he knew that because he knew that killing off the wolves would not be a good plan. Every ecosystem needs energy, and energy comes from the sun, as we've been learning as we look at our plants. So, what's a food chain? We use the sun's energy indirectly, which is stored in our food. So, like, have you ever had a salad? You couldn't have a salad without the sun, because the plants that are grown that we eat in the salad have to come from the sun. It's stored in our food, and even if you haven't eaten a salad, that cow that you've eaten before, um, guess what? It ate salad, and it needed salad to get as big as it did, so that you could actually eat the meat. A food chain is when that energy is passed from one organism to another. So, from the plant to the cow, from the cow to Miss Hirt. Energy travels through producers, consumers, and decomposers. So, we're going to start by learning about producers, like that salad, right? It's capable of making its own food from the sunlight, which we learned that's the process of that is called photosynthesis. So plants, all kinds of plants, those are producers. They produce their own food. Consumers, a consumer is not capable of making its own food. I can't just magically grow food in my belly. It does not work like that. So animals, and we count as an animal, as a human, we're mammals, right? There are three types. We have herbivores. Herbivores only eat plants. Carnivores only eat meat. And then there's scavengers, which is a type of carnivore we'll talk about. And then omnivores that eat either. So I am an omnivore. If you're a vegetarian, you're an herbivore. Um, Very rarely are humans just carnivores. But yeah, most of us are omnivores. And there's decomposers. A decomposer eats decaying material such as dead plants and animals. So, like a fungus or a bacteria. So, the reason why our fruits and veggies turn green and they get mold on it, those are actually fungi and bacteria that are eating up the dying fruit. They only eat dead things. This is an activity we're going to be doing in our small groups. And one more little thing to touch on is the energy pyramid. So the pyramid of energy works like this. We start with producers on bottom, then it goes to a primary consumer, then to a secondary consumer, then to a tertiary consumer. So here we've got producers, that's your rainforest leaves. So this is just a rainforest example here. Then we've got insect larvae. The larvae are eating the leaves. Then we've got the bonobo, which is a type of monkey, primate. They eat the insect larva. And then the crocodile eats the monkey. What a sad day. And that is the top consumer. But then, when the crocodile dies, there's going to be bacteria and all kinds of things that are eating it too. So it's all kind of part of the circle of life. And then this other thing here is pretty important to note. 10% loss of original energy as it climbs higher up the pyramid. So the when the bugs eat the rainforest leaves, they're getting 100% of that. But then it goes down to 10%. If you remember from math, we lose a decimal. 100 divided by 10 is 10. And then the insect larva, it's 10% of the energy that the leaves had. And then when the monkey eats it, it goes divided by 10 again, and that's just 1%. And then by the time the crocodile gets it, he's only getting 0.1% of those nutritious leaves down here. So actually, the insect larvae are getting the greatest amount of nutrition from those leaves. But the monkey is also getting the nutrition of the insect larva, and the crocodile's also getting the nutrition of the bonobo. So that's how the energy pyramid works. Every time you go up, it's a little bit less energy. And that's where I'll stop.